Hello everyone, it is right at 2 o'clock, Wednesday, September the 5th, 2018, and I'm out here in Lithia Springs, Georgia at Sweetwater State Park. I've gone down the walking trail, and right now I am standing in front of a yarn, thread, and cloth manufacturing company that stayed in operation through most of the second half of the 1800s. It was once called the Sweetwater Manufacturing Company, later renamed to the Manchester Manufacturing Company, and it was eventually destroyed along with much of Atlanta in the Battle of Atlanta when Sherman was doing his march to the sea. Like many factories back in those days, this did not run off of electricity or even steam. It ran completely off of water current. This was the spillway right here that connects up to the main river further down, and you can still see much of the spillway still there. The sidewalls of that spillway were completely hand done, and it directed all the water to the top of this drop off right here. Inside of this room was a giant water wheel. The water would flow over it, make it turn, and then the water would simply exit out through this opening right here back into the river. Here's some pictures of the water wheel under construction and the main shaft here that everything kind of linked to through a series of belts. Here's one of the first machines the cotton would come to, the cotton gin, where the seeds would be picked out. And here's some of the different stages of the cotton until it reached its final finished product of yarn, and then later into cloth. Now, while all this is fascinating, this is really not the only reason I brought you out here today. Actually, this is a filming location for one of the Atlanta area's more famous movie series, that is, The Hunger Games. That's right, in the Mockingjay Part 1, movie number 3 of the 4-part series, Katniss Everdeen and Gale have just had a really hard day of rabble-rousing, and District 12 has decided to take the leash off and give them a chance to go out into the forest and do a little hunting, relax a little bit, just like they used to do back at home. And so somewhere in the middle of the movie, there's a 2-minute beat where the two of them take a quiet time to go out into the forest, and they find these old ruins and decide to just kind of sit there, lean against each other, and stare off over the river. Most of that scene was taken over here on this side of the factory, so let me go on down the walkway and get to that side. Alright, here's the scene I'm talking about here. You can see they've got this big retention wall. They go down this hill and then through this little doorway here, and then Katniss looks out over through the spillway, through the opening of the spillway, and kind of stares off over the river. Now, all of that took place right here. I'm kind of trapped up here on this boardwalk with a bunch of keep out signs that are not letting people get any closer. But you can still kind of see the retention wall that they were walking up next to. They went down this little hill and through that doorway there. And the spillway is hard to see from right here, so I'm going to go up and around so you can kind of see down the spillway a little bit. And there it is right there. I can't really get close enough to see the big rock that the two of them were sitting on when they had their little moment together. But that was definitely the opening. That was it right there. This whole mood that she gets in, where she just kind of gets very introspective and sits there staring off over the running water. I can tell you, as somebody that has come to this river many times growing up and walked this trail many times, Sweetwater, the river, it has that effect on you. I would dare to say she wasn't acting very much in this scene. That's just kind of the mood that this park and this running water and this river will put on you. So there they are. You see them sitting in the opening. And there's the opening right there. All chain linked up now. And that's something else too about this whole scene, is that you don't see a single chain link fence, of course, even though, I mean, there's tons of them going all over the place, even covering up the opening where they were sitting. But I'm not going to go down there and dig at the base of this fence and see if maybe they took it up and then filmed a 2-minute scene and had all of that fence replaced. But there's a good chance that's exactly what they did. Either that or they CGI'd them out. Now, in the original story of this factory, in July of 1864, the factory workers were overrun by Union troops and then detained and placed under military guard, pretty much put under military arrest for a few days until their Major Tompkins, returned from destroying the woolen mill in Roswell, which I have been to. The ruins are still there. I might take you guys there someday. And then he ordered his men to simply destroy the factory. They poured flammable liquid on all 5 floors and set it on fire. And then all of the workers were deported to Louisville and Kentucky and signed papers saying, for the Union, saying that they would never again return across the Ohio River, so they were not allowed to go back to Georgia. Now, the Union was interested in shutting this factory down as well as the woolen factory over in Roswell because they were helping with the war effort. They were supplying things like tents and uniforms to the Confederate troops. So they did have a reason for burning it down and doing what they did. But the whole idea of deporting them and pretty much banning them from ever coming back to their homes does seem a little oppressive, seeing as the war ended and these guys went on living for a long time, not allowed to go home. And so I think that adds another layer of appropriateness for a movie like The Mockingjay to be filmed here. It was a movie about government oppression, filmed at a factory where the workers of that factory experienced government oppression. And that's going to be it for this one today, guys. I've got to go get on the road and start heading off to North Carolina, Mount Airy, North Carolina, to be exact, to a little fair called the Surry County Agricultural Fair. Tiny little one, going to be the first time I'm going to be doing it. So please come and join me at that one too. Don't forget to smash that like button. Leave comments, leave questions, leave suggestions. Subscribe if you haven't already, and ring the bell icon to start receiving notifications. I love you all very much, and I will see you again in the next video.